What inspired you to pursue a career in comedy? Because you were a graphic designer.
That is true, mate.
So why did you become a comedian? They're two polar opposites, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't like the anger that you put in your voice by saying, why become a comedian?
Why?
No. Isn't it just
mate, if you weren't a
blatantly
comedian,
obvious? Isn't it just the natural talent that is oozing out of you from across the table?
I'd rather talk to a comedian than a graphic designer.
That is true.
Not saying that a graphic designer is bad. I'm just saying I'd get along with a comedian more, like this.
Yeah, that is true. Mate, it's a very good question. I think I fell for the thing is that stand-up comedy looks easy. That's what I fell for. Because I thought, you're just talking rubbish. This will be fine. And then after 20 years, I'm like, oh, this is actually quite hard. So that's, in a nutshell, what I think I fell for.
Yeah, well, you've been grinding away.
I wouldn't say grinding. I'd say I've been doing all right, mate, okay?
No, grinding away. To get to this point, you weren't an overnight success, were you?
Well, I like to think I was doing all right when I was younger, okay?
Nah, he was terrible as a young kid. No. Yeah, I want to know what the process was in building a career. From start to now, when you were like, right, I just want to talk dribble on stage and get a few laughs.
Well, in stand-up comedy, anyone can do it. But unfortunately, that's the problem. Anyone can do it. So you get up on stage, you find an open mic room, you get up there, you try it out, and you just keep going. That's as simple as it is, but that's also as hard as it is. You've got to keep getting up on stage. Even if it doesn't go well, you get back up on stage, you keep going.
Do you get nervous before each one, or you kind of...
Sometimes. Like, these days, no. But then also there could be some big ones where you're like, okay. Like, when it's live TV and things, you can sometimes get a bit, okay, this is happening.
Right. Yeah.
But then the cameras are rolling and you start moving and everything's fine. But, yeah, it can be at times a little unsettling.
When was the first time you did your stand-up?
First time? Well, the first time, which I don't classify as necessarily the start of my career because I was just messing about. Because for about 2 years, I went backpacking and just kind of did it in different countries, like once every 3 months or something. But the first gig was 2002 at Geelong Performing Arts Centre.
There you go. How'd it go?
For Raw Comedy. Very badly, Jonesy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Can you talk us through it, or
What
is it
a
just
stinker.
a bit of PTSD?
It's just good to talk about it, though.
Good to talk about.
You know what I mean? This is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
I think I'm still getting paid, yeah? I'm still getting paid.
I'll be your psychologist. Yeah, still getting paid.
Yeah,
mate,
great.
If you talk
I'm earning money and I'm talking about it.
If you talk about this story, you get paid more. Pay rise, mate.
Do you?
Minimum wage to decent.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Although I have heard double of nothing is still nothing. So even though the rate has gone up.
Yeah, it could be losing it all.
Mate, it was very bad because I hadn't really been on a stage before. So I was not used to the lights, not used to the microphone, not used to all of that stuff. And then not really anticipating that you've got, at the time it was 300 people or something, just hanging off your every word. And I was not ready for that.
Did you crumble, or would you say...
Crumbled a bit. I had a bit of a pause. I got up. They say that Buddhist monks spend decades trying to have complete harmony in their brain where there's not a thought running through it. But I reached that point when I walked on stage because not a thought was coming through my head. And I went quiet for, every second on stage that people are listening to you and nothing's coming out feels like an hour. So it was probably only about 5-8 seconds, something like that. But it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then I collected myself, got a couple of laughs. It wasn't great. Like 5 minutes of not getting a lot of laughs is... And
it felt like...
It felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And then you walk off. And it's funny when you do something like that, I found out too, it's like you've got some terminal disease that if anyone looks at you or touches you, they'll catch it as well. And then my mates were just looking away and like...
Oh, who is this bloke?
What is going on? But then if you can get through all of that, probably it'd be the same stats as what Tommy was explaining with the podcast. I reckon 99% of people do not go on with it. And then I reckon 1% of people push past probably the 10 gigs.
So... Big man, you're in the top 1%.
Thank you, mate. That's what I was angling for, to be honest.
Yeah, he was waiting for me to say it.
I just wanted a compliment from you. I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, no worries. You got it there.
Thank you, mate. I did corner you, but yeah, still, it was good.
I have a question here, but you've kind of already answered about how do you come up with your shows, but it's all like the stories you said that you've experienced.
The stories, yeah. I sit there and I actually do type it out, and I try and work through it in the morning and then do a gig that night and see if I can work it out.
So it's all about it's remembering it all? Like, do you ever forget?
Yeah, early days I did forget a lot, but now I've done it for long enough that it's kind of in there and I can work it all out.
Yeah.
But yeah, early days I did.
Did you draw inspiration from anyone? Any comedians?
Yeah, absolutely. Like all the stand-ups that I started. Mate, when I started, these are probably all people that are now Very old, probably. Billy Conley, if you know Billy Conley.
Is he living?
Just, yes.
Okay,
I
so
think
he's
Billy's still
nearly
hanging
under.
on. Yeah,
Other
yeah.
side of the dirt soon. Nah, that's all right.
Well, I mean, yeah, like we said,
You never know.
death really does put a bad sour taste.
We
in
were
our
going to say,
situation.
we were talking about you being on the other side of the dirt half an hour ago. So, no.
It was guys like
It's
that.
really
I used
positive.
to watch old comedy movies and so things like that. And I'm trying to think of other stand-ups that, I mean, I love Australian stand-ups. So there's a lot of guys that now my mates, but like I used to watch Will Anderson and Hughesy and Pete Hallier and Tom Gleeson and Denise Scott and Judith Lucy and all those guys. And then, so now, now you're doing gigs with them. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's your favourite moment? If you look, we've been a lot of negatives. We'll go to the positive. Your favourite moments on a stage. So if you were to go back to one show or whatever that was like, yep, I freaking nailed that. Where are you going?
Yeah, there's been some really fun gigs, like good gigs, gigs that you just go, that is a cracker. Some gigs where it's like they've just stood out because of how crazy it's been. Like I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, God, now almost 15 years ago. And I remember this is a weird one because the last night of the Fringe Festival, because Scotland's just above England, where Scotland had a day off, so it was a Monday, so it was a long weekend, but England did not have a day off. But that was the last day of their festival. And so you're on a Monday night trying to get people into your show at the last day of the festival when most people didn't have the day off. And I remember I was there and 6 or 8 people turned up. I think it was 6. And I said, can I just cancel the show? It's the last one. Because festivals run for about a month. Yeah. And this was the last show and I'd had enough. And I just said, can I just cancel this and go home? Yeah. But the people running the venue said, no, we don't cancel shows. We're doing this. And I was like, this is terrible. And so I said to him, I walked out on stage and I said, all right, I'm going to go, come with me to the bar. I'm going to buy you all a beer. If you want me to keep going on with this show, we can, or we can just sit at the bar and just talk it out. Yeah. It's up to you. So I took him to the bar, got him a beer. I let them sit with themselves for about 10 minutes. I came back and said, what do you want? And they go, no, we're happy to see the show. And I was like, all right. So then I sat on stage and I sat on a stool and I just told them all about the month. I told them all about what's been going on. We're actually having a lot of fun. We got to know each other to the point where the techie said, the hour's up. You've got to finish it up because another show's coming in. I said, all right, let's keep going. We'll go to the bar. And so we went to the bar, kept hanging out with them, and then finished. It was just me and another dude. Yep. We were hanging out, this Scottish guy. And if you know, Scots are notoriously frugal, so they don't like spending money. But I was buying a lot of the drinks, so he was happy. Yeah. And he had a girl with him because I said, what happened to the girl? Oi. And then he said to me in a very heavy Scottish accent, which... Apologies, it just is funnier if he swears. Do it. Where he looked at me and he said, I just met her tonight and I took her to your show. And he said, I wasn't really getting along with her. It was better hanging out with you. And I got to tell you, big man, this has been the best fucking night of my life. And I was like, what a great night.
That is a good accent. Wait, what other ones can you do?
Give it. I'll
list a
this
few.
is starting to enter the Jimmy Carr area. I'm not going to do accents that are pushing it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll list some. If you don't want to do it, no worries. You've done your Scottish, Irish.
Oh, man, I don't know if I can do this because there's been...
Irish? How do you...
Yeah, it depends.
Darn the ground. I don't know. How's it go?
Well, Northern Irish, they're a bit more... I'm trying to think.
Ireland?
Yeah, Dean.
Yeah,
I can't... God, now it's even hard to
New
do.
Zealand? Do a Kiwi. Oh, I can't do it.
You can do it.
New Zealand.
Sure. Yeah,
that's all I know.
You're flatting it out. Absolutely.
Ib. They do Ib.
Yeah, Fosh and absolutely.
Yeah. I'm terrible
Fantastic.
when I do an American. No, it's bad. You do one. You were good. You were good. Although Canadian and Americans, can you define the difference between them?
Canadians say about, so instead of about.
Oh, they say about.
About. You hanging about?
Oh,
that's
really?
Yeah, when you hear them.
Oh, fair enough. I genuinely thought they were practically the same. But
yeah, there's been a flat part of the pod. Tommy, cut this out. Get the time on,
Tommy,
mate.
cut it out. Another thing that's going to go into the archives. You'll use that against me when we... Nah. You've talked about how you've had a show that's everything's gone wrong. Or, I don't know about everything, but things have gone wrong.
Things have gone wrong, yeah.
Can you give us a story about a time where you're on stage and it was just as bad as it could get?
I'm trying to think of some. Yeah, there's been some shockers. I mean, actually, that one it was actually in Edinburgh because in Edinburgh, the entire city gets taken over by this fringe festival. It's not just stand-up comedy. There's performances of all kinds. You're probably doing podcasts there. Everyone's doing all this stuff.
We might have to join them,
mate. Head on down.
Never know.
But because of that, it gets a lot of international audiences. It gets audiences from America, from Canada, from Europe, from like it's just a melting pot of people, and so you just never know who's going to turn up, and it's always weird because you also think like who's going to be in the audience and whether they're going to get along with you. Like I remember one night at Edinburgh, I walk out and all the front row are kids that are under like 9 years old.
What?
And I was like, what's going on here? And the parents are like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. I said, yeah, but you know what this kind of show is? Like,
I wouldn't say it's appropriate.
It's stand-up comedy.
For a 9-year-old?
Yeah, it's stand-up comedy. And I said, is everything all right? And they said, yeah. And to break the tension, I said to one of the girls, and it looked like butter would melt in her mouth. Like she was just this cutest little girl. She had red hair. I still see her now, just piercing blue eyes. And she sat there and she had a big grin on her face. And I said, I tell you what, to break the tension, why don't you into the microphone say the worst word that you know, the worst swear word that you know. And this in front of her parents.
What did she say?
Well, her eyes just lit up. And in her beautiful little accent, she just goes, I went, oh, okay, that's nice.
Lovely.
And her parents laughed and they got a photo with me because they're like, no, it's fine. We expected that. It did whatever. So like, okay. But then this other night, I remembered you just have nights where audiences aren't laughing and people think, oh, it's always the comedian's fault. And you're like, it's not necessarily. People, you can do a show and you've done pretty much the same show for however long. And then on that night, people just aren't laughing. They're just not into it. And it's just weird.
Be so deflating.
Yeah, because I know musos have said the same thing. They're like, yeah, you play the same songs, but yet some nights people are like, no, it's all right. Like they're just not into it. And you go, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And as a performer, that's the energy. That's the thing that pushes you over the top. If the people are into it, you're like, mate, we're up and about. Here we go.
Yeah.
But in this particular night, no one's laughing. And it's an hour-long show. And I'm talking 20 minutes in, I haven't really got a huge laugh. But there was these 3 people in the corner and they were into it.
Yeah.
But everyone else wasn't.
Yeah.
And because for me, with an audience, you're lit on stage, but the audience is dark. So you can't really see who the individuals are. You can just hear them not laughing. And I'm like, oh, da-da-da-da, bang. And then you hit a punchline and they're like, I guess. And the 3 people will be like, nah. And you go, and that sounds almost worse because it's, could you imagine a room full of people? There's just a couple of people going, nah. And everyone else is like...
It would be better for it to be silent because then they don't actually know if it's the joke or not. Whereas if you've got a couple of people... Did you point out to them saying, oh, thanks, guys?
Well, they said there was a bit of that. I'm like, oh, you guys are into it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then so this 20-minute mark, and comedians know this, that you can have some lines in your show where you're like, surely this one's going to land. Like, this one's a good line. It's funny. And I said the joke, and then those 3 people did laugh. But the strange thing was, it was like there was a spokesperson from the rest of the quiet audience, like they'd nominated someone, and this person leant across to those people laughing and just went, shh, and just told them to shut up. And I'm like, I start laughing because I'm like, it's like you're like, no, we're here to break him.
We've literally come in here to be silent.
Just break his hopes and dreams. Like, I don't want to encourage him.
Told him to shut up at a stand-up.
And the funny thing was, that was in Edinburgh. The next year, I would open by telling that story. I say, this is what happened to me last year.
Yeah.
And then these people start laughing, like really hard. And I said, what? And they go, we're the 3 people.
Oh.
They were like, we're the guys. And when they go, we came back. We were there. And we were like afterwards saying that we can't believe no one else is laughing. Like this poor guy's working his ass off. And I thought, that's really nice. So there you go, kids. Even if a couple hundred people aren't laughing, 3 were, they came back.
I cannot. Telling them to shut up at a comedy.
It's brutal, isn't it?
That is brutal. Absolutely. We've talked about hecklers, and you don't get too many, and you handle them pretty well.
Not too many. Like I said, I try to have fun with them rather than... I mean, sometimes people are... I hate to say this, because this is pretty judgmental, but I would say the most dangerous people in an audience are middle-aged drunken women.
Ah,
and this
in what way?
This is my theory, that being men, and we probably, I don't know, you guys, well, I'd like to think you're at an age where you haven't drank alcohol. I'd like to know, boys.
No, never touched it.
Good to hear. But when you are a young fella and when I say that, obviously over 18, 21 in some countries, but, and you're out, probably not as much these days, but when I was younger, if you got too loudish, security would just drag you out. Now, they'd rough you up to what level, who knows, but, they at least will grab you, throw you out. You could even get maybe a couple of cheeky whacks on the way. So I think men learn to be like, oh, I got to shut up.
Yeah.
When I don't think you should do that. But then a woman has they've never learnt that there's consequences sometimes if you go a little, go hard. So then there's middle-aged women that always find that if they're really drunk, it's always been a middle-aged woman where you're like, that is great that you are, and they're usually, not heckling to like, this shit. They're just like, yeah, that happened to me once. And I remember that my kids did the same thing. And I was saying it. And you're like, that's really nice. It's great that you're involved. But it's just that, like,
you tone it down
just
a
let the
bit,
performer perform. Yeah. But they're like, no, I just wanted to say. And you're like, yeah. Because I think they also think you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And you think, no, you need to be quiet now. So that's, I always say, and this is a rule of thumb. This is just that they're the most dangerous audience members.
Do you tell them to shut up, or do you just let the security? Do the security kind of do it themselves? Say, "Come on, let's just calm down."
It's always a thing of like, I will talk to an audience and I'll be like, "Hey, like in friendly, fun way, hey, like it's just that people want to hear performers, so if you could tone it down, that'd be great." And usually that does work. But if they keep going, you do have to go security, and then they'll say, "Hey, you've had a good run, but see you later."
Yeah, that's valid.
Sorry about that. Which is, I'm not saying. I'm not judging you, Jonesy, but I got a feeling that as an older man,
I'll be one of those people.
You'll be one of those people.
I'll be going to your show and I'll be yapping, thinking it's all about me, and then forget old mates on stage.
Yeah, you would have had a few drinks and you feel like you're commentating. And here he is at the microphone. Yeah. He's been absolutely on a purple patch.
Lurking dangerously to the left-hand corner, left-hand side.
Prowling the stage like an apex predator.
Feasting. He's a beauty. And you'll be like,
stepping with a raking left foot.
Onto the left slipper. Through the posts.
Working through the words and the syllables with absolute ease.
It just rolls off the tongue. No. I probably would actually. I'll do it to yours, and then you'll be like, who is this bloke?
Who is this guy?
Yeah. Anyway.
No, what I'll do, right, I can get you to a show, and what I'd prefer more is like a boundary rider.
Yeah.
So I'll do my bits, and then I go, Jonesy, what's been happening out there? And you're like, wow, geez, Dave, what can I say? Electric down here in the audience. However, we've got a few people that I think maybe are tittering on security dragging them out. The tension, you could cut it with a knife.
They're on the edge of their seats. They're thinking, oh boy, I want to get involved in this David Thornton commentary. I want to get up on stage. I want to start to get some attention. Yeah. I'll be like, we've got some bloke. I've just knocked the camera.
Yeah, but we're going to have a small break. Everyone will go to the bar, get some drinks. We'll see what they're like when they come out in the second half. Back to you, Thorno.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to book in a taxi tonight, lads. Wouldn't trust them behind a wheel on Burke Street tonight. Keep them away from the driving.
I'm happy with this.
Yeah, you happy with that? I reckon. Jonesy, over to you. Yeah, no worries, Thorno.
Oh, jeez, I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm actually cooking.
Now. I'm sweating.
I'm actually cooking.
That's all right.
Oh, boy. You've had a lot of moments. Can we take a break? Can I take a break? I need a breath.
And we're back.
We are back. We did take a break because it was 50 degrees outside and it's about 70 degrees in here. And we needed to get some watermelon water and just cool down. So, and there's a little bit to go now, but that break was needed. Couple of questions to go. If you weren't a comedian, what would you be doing? I know you're a graphic designer, but, what would you be doing if you weren't a comedian?
Probably being a pest, because then everyone else would have to listen to my stories rather than an audience.
Yeah, so that's valid.
Yep. One of those weird guys that turns the volume down and just does their own commentary. Do you know what I mean? One of those weird, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing?
I know. You get a few of those coming around here, don't you?
Bit on the nose.
Yeah, I know.
What is that about?
It's like, holy moly.
Yeah, jeez, what's going on? I've had a brain aneurysm. But, I probably would still be a graphic designer.
Still would.
Yeah. We were just talking about this on the break, weren't we? Because Tommy's brother Jack is very creative. And I said, I don't know, it's in our family. You're going to do something creative for the better or the worse. Yep. You're in the arts somewhere.
If you weren't a graphic designer...
I just don't like getting paid consistently is what I'm saying. I like not knowing when the next paycheck's coming along.
That's really ideal. If you weren't a comedian and you weren't a graphic designer, what would you do? Get rid of those two. What would you want to do?
I genuinely... Look, there were long nights of the soul, which we all had during lockdowns. But then I was thinking being a barber would be okay. But then I think... But I might get over it. But again, that's kind of like creative.
Yeah,
I think that's not really shooting for the stars. But that's... Not that, being a barber is a very talented profession, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is. If you...
by the looks of things, you haven't had a good one in a while.
And I'm actually due for one now, because I was going to get one today, but then, obviously, you've stepped in and said, nah, I will talk to you
Oh,
instead.
you're busy. You've got
I've
stuff
got
on.
priorities. No, but I am due for one.
It's a pretty good mullet you got there, Jonesy.
No, it'll get better. It'll get better. I actually haven't had a haircut for a few months now, so it is due.
Is that the result of said, like just leaving it for that long?
Yeah, it's just
Because there's a real party
mess.
at the back at the moment.
It is a party at the back and it's a party at the front. It's everywhere. I will get next time. If you listen to the next episode, I think I'll have a different.
Leave your comments, guys.
Yep.
What do you think he needs?
No, please don't. A lot of them will be hate, but that's okay. I don't look at them. I don't listen to them.
Well, maybe you should.
Maybe.
Just
Yeah.
in this case,
selective.
just
I
for
will
the-
this time. I will
just
this
get a
time.
stylist.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to be work commentary,
But the good thing is with a hairdresser, you blame them. You know, you can't go wrong.
Oh, yeah?
'Cause I just blame them. Like, it's not actually my fault, it's always them. So that's the good thing.
You've
It's
just
like,
been
I said I
years
wanted a
on a
mullet,
bad
they gave
hot
me
streak.
I said I wanted a mullet, they gave me a buzz cut. You know?
oh, it's the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Anyway, the best story, right? If you tell me one story, it doesn't have to be, just anything you've experienced. The best, funniest story.
Mate, I've just told you some absolute
Yeah, I
belters.
know, but which one's the best? Which one's the best?
Well, that's for you to decide.
No.
I mean-
This is in your perspective.
What? So you want to hear? So in other words, you want to hear a good story?
I want to hear a good story.
Well, this one is. I find this story very funny. In that there was, or still is, there's a comedian, a Canadian guy by the name of, now his name. It's so hot, you start, those things, they just start leaving your head and you're like, oh, God. God, I can see his face now.
That's all right.
But look, this guy, he's a very blue performer.
What does that mean?
That means he works very crass material.
Okay.
Like his stuff is full on.
Okay.
And so it's not what you were talking about before, racist or controversial, but it's just very crass and blue.
Yep.
Blue. Like it's the kind of, like you wouldn't bring your grandmother to that one.
Okay.
You would be like, okay.
Probably not great.
No.
Okay.
And he was performing in London and he did a show there and a guy came up to him afterwards and goes, you'd be great for a work function. I'd love to get you up and book you for this work function. And he said, well, you just saw what I did. Like, that's pretty crass. Like, do you think it's appropriate for work to? Like, absolutely. Like, it's fine. And then he's like, oh, okay, but I told you this is what I'm doing. So he said he drove about an hour and a half out of London and it's a very nice village in the United Kingdom. So it's very pleasant. It's in the middle of the afternoon and it's for a council gig. So you've got like the mayor there. It's all very stuffy.
Professional.
Yeah, very professional. And so he gets up and he starts his material and he did what he said and people are shocked. Like they're just mortified. They're like, I can't believe you're saying this in a professional environment. He's dying because they're all like going, this is so bad. The mayor hates him. Everything's going really badly. He gets off stage and he's just like, it just went terribly.
Yeah.
And he said to the guy who booked him, he goes, mate, I told you that's what I did. I told you it was going to be that. And everyone hates it. And the guy said, nah, that was perfect. Because you see, the mayor's my boss and I hate him and I'm going to quit next week.
Oh, no.
That was perfect.
Oh, jeez.
So he just lined him up to absolutely die in his hole, just as an FU to the boss.
That is gold. That is gold. That is gold. I reckon that trumps the others, almost. The poo. No, sorry.
Someone's
The
being
poo.
very
The poo's
reserved
on
here.
top. The poo's on top.
Oh, you reckon the poo story?
Yeah, the poo story.
Again,
yes.
go to my YouTube page, guys.
You
You'll
go
hear
to
it all.
YouTube. Yeah, how many times do you want to say that? I reckon that's 15 for the day, but that's okay.
That's what I'm here for,
Check
mate.
out the YouTube. That's 16 now.
Mate, if this is what I'm here for.
Yeah, he's here for promotion. He's not here to chat to Jonesy. He's here to promote himself.
That's what we're going to do.
That's okay. We like that.
No, but the weird thing is I don't want to tell you the story. You've seen the story.
Oh, I've
so
seen the story. We
I
need
don't-
others too.
Yeah.
So check out the YouTube poo story. It's pretty good. A dream guest you'd have dinner with. If you could have dinner with anyone, living, dead, in the future.
We're having dinner together, Jonesy.
Oh,
Here we go.
I was expecting that. I was waiting
This
for
is
that.
great.
That's what I wanted
Jam
to hear.
and cheese pizza!
Yes, that's what we like to see. You know what I'd choose?
Oh, I didn't ask, but yep.
I don't care. I'd choose Dave Thornton, I reckon.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
No
That is
worries.
nice.
No worries.
This has worked out really well.
Yeah, it has, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you could get a haircut but
Yeah.
before we do this dinner.
Maybe. No, we'll have Macca's drive-through. That's our dinner, I reckon. You don't need a haircut for that.
You really know how to treat a gal fine.
I know. It's really good. One joke, and then we'll get to the final bit.
One joke.
One joke that never fails to get laughs. You could tell me one joke that you have. I won't laugh. I promise.
Very hard to...
I won't laugh.
Yeah, but this is like you want a joke. This
Yeah,
is,
I want a joke.
You want an actual...
A joke.
like you want a real joke?
Yeah, a real joke. Oh, no. I know where you're going.
No, but like a joke. Cause this
I don't
is-
know if he's going to say me or... I don't know where he's
Yeah,
going. But
your career, mate.
A real joke.
Oh no, I don't. I've got a couple, but I mean they're not for recording. They're
Actually?
the ones. They're the ones that you be at a pub and you go, okay, I've got one for you, but I'm
okay.
just not really.
Well, we'll keep it. Whatever will keep you outside of prison, we can say.
Guys, if you want to hear some cracking jokes, YouTube page Dave Thornton.
Oh.
If you want to check it all out, that'd be great.
Listen to him.
It's very hard. You're asking a comedian to tell a joke.
Just
It's
tell a
very-
joke, mate.
What do you mean? Have you got one?
Yes.
Go on then.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mate, I'm not the comedian. You're meant to know a joke.
Yeah, but do you see how awkward you feel?
Well, I'm not a comedian.
Yeah, but you feel awkward. I've got my professional reputation on the line.
Yeah, it better be funny. Actually, that is pressure.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've come in all wrong.
Yeah.
It's like someone saying to you, like, all right, come, make me dance. And you're like, okay, and you can kind of grab the person and like, I don't want to. And you're like, well, exactly. If you don't want to, I can't make you dance.
Fine, we'll let you slip on this one. But if you want to check out some jokes, Dave Thornton, YouTube, Instagram,
Please.
Twitter, X,
Absolutely.
Facebook, every single social media. What social media platform are you not on?
I don't think I'm on. No, I'm not on Snapchat. That's for sure.
Snapchat. I don't know if that would be ideal.
Yeah, MySpace. I've given that off.
Yeah.
I'm off that.
There are many
Vine,
middle-aged
if you remember that?
males on Snapchat.
there?
I find that
Sounds-
rather
No,
concerning.
I don't want to question.
No, I don't want to
Yeah,
question.
fair
I
enough.
don't want to see who
It
they've
sounds like
added
it's
to.
great that I'm not on there.
Yeah, hopefully they
Okay.
get caught soon. Anyway, last bit.